the curse of self-sedation. I think this is something that we're all guilty of, particularly when you have a stressful life or you go through life changes and things become very difficult. It's absolutely normal to want to de-stress, to take a break from the pressures of life. But sometimes our choice of method can become really unhealthy. Now, this is what we call self-sedation. It's using substances or behaviors that numb and avoid difficult emotions. It's hiding. Many of us confuse self-sedation with self-care, but they are not the same. Self-care is something that improves well-being. Self-sedation provides temporary relief, but it comes at a cost. Physically, if you are self-sedating, you're taking a toll on your body. Behaviors like overeating, smoking, drinking, or other things such as drugs, we know that that is a huge health risk. Even overusing technology, not sleeping, all of these things create problems within our physical health when they are done to excess. Mentally, self-sedation impairs your ability to think clearly, affects your judgment. It prevents us from facing our problems, and it creates this habit of avoidance. We lose our motivation, our focus, and we cannot do our job. Emotionally, it causes us to bury our feelings instead of actually working through them and processing them. We have unresolved grief and anger and trauma and all those other things that we stuff down inside, which makes us walking, ticking time bombs. It leads to long-term anxiety, depression, PTSD, all these other things that we suffer with because we cannot face what's going on in the world. And of course, from a spiritual perspective, we end up cut off from our purpose. We do not live consciously and presently. We end up missing out on experiences that give life meaning and richness. And the more that we engage in these self-sedating habits, the more that we actually strengthen the neural pathways in the brain, which creates addictive tendencies. We start to catastrophize and we build a set of beliefs that we cannot break this habit and that we actually need this thing to cope. We cannot go without this thing because this is how we cope. Now, I lost my dad 10 days ago. Might cut this out. And the desire to sedate has been strong. To shut down, to sleep, and not to do anything. And that's from years of training, habits, and doing this kind of work. So it's normal. It's normal. It's normal to want to escape. It's why we write stories. It's why we create characters. It's why we watch movies. It's an escape when we don't want to face what we need to face. But the will of a human being is strong. And we love to rise up. We love to do better because it's in our nature to want to conquer things and to just be better. And we can easily end up feeling like we're at a war with ourselves, trying to do better, but constantly feeling the pull of self-destruction. But if you work on this with greater self-awareness, then we can start to interrupt these patterns and make better choices. We can start to notice when we're going down that path of using a substance or going into an activity or checking out to avoid our emotions, and we can start to name the feelings that we're starting to numb. We can find healthy ways to process them. Things like journaling, exercising in a healthy way rather than overdoing it, talking, all these different things. And there's an exercise in the Warriors Upgrade where we actually work to bring awareness to our habits. So if you want a copy of that, just drop the number 7 and then I'll send it over to you. Anyway, if you can fill your life with things that nurture your mind and your body and your spirit rather than these quick fixes that shut you down, and you focus on progress through small daily actions and better habits, not perfection, just a bit better, and then celebrate when you actually choose a different coping method, something that serves your overall well-being, then it gets better. And then, of course, there's deeper release work, there's letting go, there's healing, there's dealing with trauma, all this kind of big work that takes time and effort, and it's quite difficult. But imagine how much better you're going to feel if you can break that self-sedation habit. You're going to be more present, you're going to be more engaged, your confidence is going to grow, and you're going to handle life's up and downs a lot easier. You're going to have healthier ways of dealing with it. Life very rarely gets easier, but you're going to forge greater resilience, stronger relationships, and you'll have the self-knowledge that you can actually embrace all your emotions. And if you become more resilient, then you're in a position to go out and create a life that is full of peace and purpose and power and passion, and a life that serves you. So if this has resonated with you in some way, just give it a share or drop me a line if you want to talk about how we can work on this kind of stuff within Project Tempest.